So hello and welcome to another episode of Good Fat Life. And as always, I am so excited to be here and I love our guest today. She's kind of in transition or has been for a bit and is doing some really cool stuff. And so before I introduce her, I just want to remind you to go to goodfatlife.com. We have a brand new issue that's up. Officially up as of yesterday, and lots of good things to check out. So that said, welcome to Kelly Parochetti. Did I get it?
You got it.
With Balance and Thrive Forestry Walking.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm so glad you're here. I've been trying to get you here for a while, and it's been a bit of a back and forth.
Sure. Needed a reason to come, right?
Needed a reason to come.
Sure.
So anyway, tell me your reason.
That
you said yes.
Yeah. Well, really, Sherri, it's because of you. But started a little forest therapy walking business called Balance and Thrive. And it's a fun reason to come talk to you about. And everybody's going to go, what's forest therapy walking?
Well, it is, but it's popping up. And I unfortunately haven't been able to experience it yet just because of the time that you have the walks, but I will get there. It's on my calendar. But the people that have said it's just blown their minds. I mean, it's like we think, okay, a walk in the forest can be wonderful, right? But
Sure.
What makes it different?
Yeah. I was going to say that was kind of mine when I stumbled upon this business idea was I like to hike. I like to be in nature. I like to be in the forest. And I like therapy. But more so like, what is it? And it was kind of following the curiosity of it. And I would say the easiest explanation of what it is slowing down in nature, whether it's a forest or whether it's in your garden. But it's slowing down and tapping into your senses and just being in the present moment, which is very hard for me. So combining something you like walking outside and then, using this forest therapy guide, or people call it forest bathing.
Right,
In Japan,
right.
they call it shinrin-yoku. It's
Okay.
just being outside, slowing down. It's bathing, not a shower.
Right.
That's kind of like my easy transition explanation of it.
Well, the fact that it's been that the Japanese have a term for it, if you will, implies that it's been around for thousands of years.
I don't know about thousands. The research that I was presented was it began in about 1980s.
Okay.
It popped up in Japan because of their illnesses increased. And so they started looking at what changed in their environment. And they had a big tech boom in the 1980s. So everybody went from outside indoors. You're working indoors.
Okay.
And so they were able to, because it's Japan, they were able to run some tests and figure out what is it? And the biggest thing they seen was people spent less time outside. So they made it part of their workday was go outside and be with nature. And then they did research behind it and found that trees and plants produce phytocides. So they use that to defend themselves. But when humans inhale it, it produces a white blood cell called natural killer, or NKs, that help shrink cancer cells. It helps boost your immune system. And so they did a bunch of different scientific research around that. And,
Oh my gosh.
And I'm not knowledgeable in any of that, but that's the tidbits I get from it that makes sense, right?
Okay.
And remind you of when you're a kid, when you're outside, how much better do you feel? How much better is your sleep quality? You're not so anxious. Your mood's better. And so they actually, there's data that supports all of this that we've pretty much known intuitively as kids. What was the first thing your parents were doing? Get out of the house, get outside.
Right. And they lock the door.
Right. And so this is that just a little bit more elevated in thinking of yoga. We've talked about meditation. It's just another modality to tap into your senses, your smell, your taste, your touch, listening. And then you're listening to yourself, what's coming up for you in the forest. Me, I'm the guide, but the forest is really the therapist. And what are you in need of? Is it you're in need of some joy? Are you getting questions answered? Just holding space for people to do that. And what better place than outside and in nature in the forest?
When you say it, it sounds so simple.
It's very
Right?
simple.
And it's not.
It's not easy. It's simple.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Because of our lifestyle now.
Absolutely.
We have moved to. You're right. I mean, you and I both come from corporate backgrounds, and it's just so easy to be. You walk in. I remember when I first started counting my steps. I would literally have like 500 steps in a day. I would walk into my desk, right, sit down, and my steps would be to the restroom, to the coffee machine, to get some food.
Yep.
Put my food in the refrigerator. And back to my desk. And then I would walk out of the building, get in my car, drive home, and be in my house.
Right. I mean, and I think, the favorite year everybody talks about, 2020, I mean, it changed a lot. Like me as a, corporate person out and about, you were inside more on meetings. And so I think that's when people taking like an afternoon walk picked up, like, cause you were like, I just gotta move. I gotta get out. Like you're not in an office setting where you're getting up and moving around and interacting with people. So that's kind of like the basis for kind of the foundation of kind of how it all started for me was like me needing a reason to get outside.
Okay.
And it just, the snowball effect just kept going. And when I found, that you could be a forest therapy guide, because I wanted to do something more to help, share things that helped me with others. If it would help them, it also connects people. And just awareness, the curiosities. I think we speak about that, like, what are you curious about, and following it. And the universe, whatever, kept getting louder and louder and kept showing me something. And it was like, yes, it's something with walking, nature, therapy.
And that's like, was perfect for you.
Right. So, yeah.
It's perfect for you. And so does it have to be a forest?
No. So you can be guided. It could be by yourself. Obviously, Balance and Thrive is the business that does forest therapy walks.
Right.
But it could be, in my training, you could sit in your house and look at a plant. You could sit in your house, look out the window, and still be guided, because the structure of it is there's an introduction, there's a little history, and then you get into different, we call them invitations. And so they're not activities. You can't do it right or wrong. It's just an invitation. And it'll be like, what are you noticing about the smell? Like, what's the farthest you can see? So it's like tapping into the senses to slow you down, to then, honestly, just to slow down and see what else is coming up. And there's other invitations we do. One of the walks, I think one of my favorite things to do, because it makes me uncomfortable, so I like to see if that makes others uncomfortable, was to go find a place in the woods and you sit there for 15 minutes and you do nothing. And the people that were on the walk were like, that was way more than 15 minutes. I'm like, nope, 15 minutes. And just like the different things that pop up for you, in your brain.
Right.
Once you get through the first uncomfortable of like, you're making your to-do list and what are you going to do for dinner and what did you forget and what are you going to do when you get home? Like, you finally settle in, and that's where the good stuff is.
Right. So it's a meditation. And really, it is a meditation.
In some form, right?
In different ways. It's a different way to access.
Sure. Like I said, different modality of meditation, because I think I've said before, I'm not great at meditating sitting. It could be movement meditation. We talked about knitting meditation.
Right.
So it's another way that you're enjoying or being comfortable to get to do something maybe that is uncomfortable for you. And the structure of the walk can change. There's so many different invitations to do within the forest. There's, you could do touching of streams of water and like what that brings up. And there's smells, and, we do a piece in the forest therapy walk where there's a sharing circle. And so it's more of, you're sharing what kind of came up for you during that invitation. And it's not a conversation. So we don't want people to do feedback. It's just sharing what you got out of that. And somebody said, I don't know, but I smelled my grandmother's house. Like, that's kind of like what came up, like from when you were a kid. So it's interesting. And then we end a forest therapy walk. There's so many different variations, which I like, but we end it with like a tea ceremony, thanking the land, and then sharing like a poem or lyric or quote. So it's just kind of nice. Like, it's communal at the end and connection with it too. So you're not just alone with yourself. There's also a community and connection, but you can do it anywhere. You can do it by yourself.
Okay. No, I love the community element to it. There's so many things that's cool about it, right?
Yeah. And mine, what I'm doing right now, are only an hour.
Okay.
So again, we're talking about corporate America, like what fits in. It's an accountability thing for somebody that can squeeze in an hour, but they're typically 2 to 3 hours. So if you can imagine what you feel like after an hour of slowing down in the forest, imagine 2 to 3, you know,
So I grew up in the Oregon, in the hills of Oregon, right?
beautiful.
And so we played in the forest all day long in the old growth. I mean, it's magic with when I think about it, and I haven't found that same kind of experience here. It doesn't mean it's not here. Maybe up on the UP, it might be.
Okay.
Right, but the woods are probably different, and the trees are
Sure.
different, and the smells are different, and everything. And there is something magic, like you said. As kids, we just jumped and played and ran, and the rotting wood, but the fresh wood, and the
Yeah.
dampness of the moss and stuff. It had such magical smells. And you're right. It's just you have to be. I love the word invitation. So, I mean, it's like you have to consciously invite yourself.
Correct. I'm not making you do anything.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's the other
You
part, because nobody likes being told what to do.
No,
So-
absolutely not. So this is a really cool, and so kind of do you have a vision for it?
I do. I mean, I do. My vision right now is getting the awareness out there, because it's like anything. Maybe when I think of maybe when yoga started and everybody's like, what's yoga? What's this? What's that?
Right.
So it's just the educational part of it and getting people to try it. So right now I'm doing this Friday in the Forest series, where the last Friday of every month we meet at lunchtime over at Huron Meadows Metro Park and do it for an hour. Kind of the long-term vision of this year is to add another, maybe like a mid-week walk. Wednesdays for
Right,
Sherri.
so I could go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, adding other pieces to it, like adding on to bigger, maybe retreat events that are out there. So you can do the more longer format walk, and people can get, deeper into that slowing down phase, because you can allow yourself more time. But like anything, everybody's schedules are busy. So it's this little nugget of time that you can carve out for yourself for some self-care, we'll call it. It's great. And it's easy to access in your schedule an hour versus 2 to 3.
It is, and it is easier, I guess. So when I just got back from Morocco, and Saturday night I came home. I felt fine. And I started throwing up.
Oh, geez.
And it's like, and I took my temperature, and I had a temperature, and it was like, what the heck is that? Where did this come from? And but the bigger thing was, it was such a reminder that if we don't have our health, we don't have anything.
Right.
And so I'm just feeling pukey. I don't know what it is, and it doesn't even matter. The point is that it's so important to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's non-negotiable. And what was also interesting about traveling is those issues of taking self-care are everywhere. They're worldwide, because the world has just ramped up in so many ways that we're eating bad food because it's quick and it's easy.
Right.
And it tastes better. I mean, not better. It just tastes good.
Yes.
Right?
It's addictive.
It's
right?
addictive,
Yeah.
right? So what I love about what you're doing is it's magic in its way. Because everybody that's told me about it, they say when you do it, it's just magic.
Yeah, and I'm not even doing it justice explaining it to you. It's one of those where it's like you need to experience it, because everybody's experience is different.
Well, and that's what everybody has said, is that I went in thinking X, and I came out with, oh my gosh, this is so much better, bigger than I even imagined.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's that reminder, like, okay, stop and pause.
Yeah, it is. It's a big pause, right? Like the word pause, I think we use in so many things. It's a pause for yourself. I mean, even in the way we react to others, like the pause is where the goodness is. Like that's where you think about the words you'll say next. So I think, the pause, like getting yourself into a pause.
But you've also made it accessible.
Yes.
So one of the things that we're really focusing on this year around at Good Fat Life is how to take where you're not like we're not trying to balance our lives. We're just wanting to be integrated,
Yep.
right? So we have our work, we have our pauses, we have our good food, good nutrition, our rest, where we just do those things as a way of being.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, I got to get in my nature walk.
It's a habit. You're
Right.
habit
Yeah.
stacking.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Habit stacking. I
Yeah.
like that term, right? Yeah. Okay. So where would people find you?
They can find me on my website, balanceandthrive.net.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram now, Balance and Thrive 2218. We're on Facebook at Balance and Thrive.
Look at you.
Yeah, we're out there in the real universe. My tagline for a while, as you know, has always been, I don't need to be out on the internet. Come find me in the forest.
Come find me in the forest. There you go.
Yeah. I was going to say, and the other portion of this of like kind of the bigger purpose driven and community aspect was like there is a handful of benefits backed by research that's been done with forest therapy, forest bathing, whatever they call it. And there's these nature prescriptions. So in a world where there's a lot of regular prescriptions, nature prescriptions are free, there's zero side effects, and they're being recommended more. There's decrease in anxiety, depression, better mood, less like thought rumination, it boosts immune systems, helps people kind of maintain focus, even people with ADHD. So it was nice to know like, hey, something that I'm very passionate about actually has great benefits and it's been proven. So, kind of one of those like, it's a fit.
It's a fit, and it's all the way around fit. So what's not I love that nature, a walk in nature can now be a prescription.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, it's in some ways it's kind of sad that that's what we've come to, right? But
Right.
on the other hand, it's like, okay, well, it is what it is.
And it's accessible for everybody.
Right.
You don't have to make an appointment. You don't have to do anything. You just have to make time for yourself.
So I'm seeing more about it, more write-ups, more conversation about it. So if somebody wants to learn more, they could come to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I was going to say there's a great event by one of our favorite people that they're hosting at the Brighton Lighthouse called the Women's Wellness Advance.
Oh, right.
On Friday, May 16th. So in the afternoon, if you sign up for this day, part of that you'll get to experience one of my walks there. So I would
that's
highly
awesome.
suggest that for anybody, they can go to the Brighton Lighthouse website to sign up for that.
And sign up there. That's amazing. Well, Kelly, I love too that you have usually like a shining example of somebody who's like wanted to make a change from the corporate world.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like you have to just jump off the bridge and, people say take that leap, but you don't have to.
Correct.
You can
walk. As you said, you can integrate it into what you currently are doing. And that's what Balance and Thrive is all about, right? I think I've told people like Balance and Thrive was either going to be a tattoo or a business. And so at the moment it's a business. We'll see about the tattoo. But you don't have to do the big scary leap from, something you're doing today. And I think that's the other part of starting Balance and Thrive and why we're finally getting to have this conversation after, knowing each other for a little bit and knowing that there's a passion and a purpose that I have. And this is what it's come to fruition as.
That how it's working through. So that is just exciting, right?
Very.
Right? And I'm so delighted that you're here because it means that the business is actually...
It's happening.
It's happening.
It's here and it's happening and right in Brighton.
Right in Brighton. That rhymes.
Yes.
Right in Brighton. So on that happy note, I want to do a shout out to Hands on Health. So as I said, I got back from traveling overseas, and first thing I did was went to see Hands on Health chiropractic and get adjusted because traveling can be hard on your body, right? Long airplane flights and all that goes with it, and so they got me right in, and I got a great adjustment from Dr. Adam Rushford, and their staff is always so friendly and helpful. And I walked out, and I had the best sleep last night that I've had in a week.
That's great.
So, right?
Sleep is probably one of the most important.
It is one of the most important. So anyway, so thank you to Hands on Health for being there and taking care of their patients so beautifully. So on that happy note, check out Kelly's Balance and Thrive, and yes, and forest bathing.
Forest bathing. Come out and check out a walk and see for yourself. Don't just take my word for it.
Yeah, take her invitation.
Take my invitation.
So
come meet me in the forest.
Come meet you in the forest. So on that happy note, don't forget to check out goodfatlife.com and see our new issue. It's full of amazing stuff. And yeah, go out and have a great day.